third session tomorrow with special attention given to alternative fuels and clinker reduction alongside other critical technologies. Sessions 4 and 5 on Wednesday and Thursday will review a whole range of low-carbon manufacturing technologies available to Asian producers, from waste heat recovery to grinding systems and on to pyro processing, fuel strategies and alternative fuels. There'll be something for everyone. Some brief housekeeping. If you don't have the full program, please visit cemtech.com where you can download the full list of speakers. In order to make each session as interactive as possible, we hope you'll ask questions and then engage directly in the discussions. You can do this through the Q&A button. If you look on your Zoom interface, please locate the chat. Let us know where you're coming from and what you're doing. Please use the Q&A to ask a question of any of the speakers. You can type the question in and we'll try and pick that up after each presentation. And if you do miss any of the presentations, you can catch up later. Just head over again to cemtech.com and the whole event will be archived. So now I'd like to introduce my co-chair for the session, Dr. Randolph Wittgens. Randolph is a regular moderator of Cemtech Asia events and well known already to many of you here today. A cement executive with over 30 years experience, including senior management roles for Cemex in several Asian countries. Randolph now works as an industry consultant based in Indonesia, where he currently resides. A native of Belgium, he holds a PhD degree in economics from the University of Bonn in Germany and acts as foreign trade advisor to the Kingdom of Belgium in Indonesia. So, over to you, Randolph.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for the introduction. And hello also to my fellow panelists, please. Good morning and good afternoon to all of you from Indonesia. I wish to welcome you to this 10th Cemtech Asia conference, regretfully to be held virtually this time. On this opening day, I shall be sharing the first two sessions. So, in line with the conference theme of Asia's transition to a low-carbon future, we shall start the session with a presentation called A Journey Towards Decarbonization. This presentation will be held by Mr. Raju Goyal, the Chief Technical Officer of Ultratech Cement India. Mr. Raju is responsible for formulating and implementing the growth strategy of this business aspect. So, good morning to you, Mr. Raju. And
good morning,
I give you the floor.
Thank you, Randolph. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks for the wonderful introduction. Good afternoon and good morning to all the participants. I hope you are doing well and keeping safe. So today we are going to discuss about the decarbonization journey of Ultratech. Before I start my topic, I just want to give you an overview of our company. As we know, Aditya Birla Group is a league of Fortune 500 companies, top 5 conglomerate in India, and operating almost in 36 countries with 150,000 employees. Our businesses are in the metal, aluminum and alloy, carbon, trading, finance, fashion and retail, cellular network, as well as chemical and fibers. Among this, Ultratech is one of the business of ABG Group, which is having a #1 cement company in India, #3 in the world, excluding China, #2 company outside China to have more than 100 million ton of capacity. We are also top 10 globally DJS index in construction industry. Our financial, we are very strong financial company. Our market cap about 27 billion, revenue about 6 billion, which is a 6% higher than the last year. Our pivot is about 1.7 billion, which is 24% higher than the last year. Our EBITDA margins are 28%. Our debt to EBITDA ratio was 0.55, which is a 68% lower than the last year. Our market, we are holding about 21% market share in India, having more than 14 million cubic meter concrete business. Our Indian growth is about 9% in the past decade. We are serving our customer by 90,000 of partners. We have the UltraTech Business Solutions outlet, or 2,500 outlets in India, serving destination about 30,000 plus in across India. Some of our high strengths, we have R&D, or 0.1% of our turnover contributing to R&D. We have 50,000 plus direct and indirect employees. Our productivity employees are 3,600 tons per FTE, or full-time employees. EBITDA per employee is about $60,000. Our LTR safety performance is reasonably good, 0.15. And our CSR is approaching about or touching the life of 2.1 million people in India. This is a AVG group. UltraTech is the largest gray and white and ready-mix cement company in India. We are also leader in the building solutions. UltraTech, our foreign footprints in Bahrain, 1 million ton capacity in manufacturing. Sri Lanka, our packing terminal is 1.5 million tons. And UAE manufacturing 2.4 million ton of cement. In India, 117 million ton of cement we produce in India. You can see that here we are the pan-India presence to serve our customer in the cement sector. We are producing cement with almost 50 units. Out of that, 22 is the integrated units and 27 grinding stations around the all part of the India. We have the 7 bulk terminals, 2 white cement plants, 5 jetties, 130 ready-mix plants to serve our key customers. And we have more than 650 warehouses to reach our customers in the market. The growth journey of the UltraTech is coming from 43% growth is organic and inorganic growth 57% with the acquisitions. You will be delighted to see that, or amazed to see that we started in 1985 with a 1 million ton, and today we are 117 million ton of capacity, which we are planning to expand up to 136 million by year 23. Our average utilization 70-75% across the India. UltraTech also is among India's 30 best workplace in manufacturing sector in 2021. Towards the decarbonization, our performance and targets are, we have achieved 21% reduction in CO2 emission by 2021, baseline of 2006. In other parameters, which is related to the 596 CO2 kg per ton of cementitious material, we are 3.9 times water positive, 2.1 times plastic positive. As we have achieved quite significant achievement what we committed, now we have revised our target. Now our new targets are based on the 2017 performance. Our commitment is to reduce the scope 1, which is the direct emission, by 27% by 2032, and indirect, which is a scope 2, 69%. Baseline of 2017, out of 27%, 6% has been achieved so far. This will be translated in terms of 462 kg CO2 per ton of cementitious material. To achieve that, we have the 5-pillar strategy, which consists of operations, energy, materials, product, and innovation to achieve our ambition for the decarbonization journey. To support our strategy, we have our targets are validated by the science-based target, which is giving us a confidence and giving us a opportunity to learn from the best practices, implement and make sure that our targets are aligned with the global targets. We also adopted internal carbon pricing, which is driving us in all the investments, all the capex, as well as our manufacturing priorities wherever we need to extend or we need to improve. This is also a part of our whole day-to-day business. Any decision when we make for any capex or any upgrade, ICP is part of that, which is helping us to drive our journey significantly in fast pace. We also the member of the founder member of GCCA, Global Cement and Concrete Association, where we are sharing and learning and supporting and exploring the breakthrough technologies to support cement industry toward the decarbonization journey. In addition to that, we have also participated and adopted the Global EP 100 to improve our energy productivity 2 times. We also align our SDG goals. We also review our ecosystem. So biodiversity impact assessment and management, we committed by 2024, we'll complete for all our operations. We also participating in the World Resource Institute's carbon market simulation and global reporting standards, which is helping us and framing and putting up a focus towards our achievement of the decarbonization journey. Let me talk about our 5 pillars strategy. So operations improvements, we are focusing on that. In the operations, we are looking for the untapped potentials by using the digital solutions to improve the energy efficiency by using the AI, ML, and soft sensors and latest technological developments happening in that, which has resulted about 2% reduction in the energy consumption and heat consumption reduction by 1% in the past few months and almost a year. In addition to that, you can also note that we have achieved in a heat consumption, lowest heat consumption, we are achieving our 676 kilocalorie per kg of clinker, which is in our average heat consumption of the company as a company, global heat consumption, which is 4.4 to 5% lower than the national average consumption. In power consumptions, up to the clinker, we have achieved lowest 51. Cement grinding alone, 24 kilowatt per ton of cement. And we also achieved especially in the pet coke milling, we have reduced our power consumption by 6.7 kilowatt per ton of material. In addition to that, we are focusing on our clinker factor reduction. We have achieved our 38% clinker in our blended cement. We also focusing on thermal substitutions by using the alternative fuels and alternative energies. We have achieved as high as 27%, but average are 4% because if you remember that we have done a lot of acquisitions, which is impacting our performance, but we are committed to increase to the 10% in coming years. In addition to our operations, we are also looking the opportunities where we can reduce our CO2 footprint. One of the example I would like to quote here, we were using our 170 trucks to transport our limestone from the quarry to our cement plant. We have installed the belt conveyor, which has helped us to reduce about more than 1,000 tons of CO2 per annum by putting up a mechanized system in place of the trucks transportation. Other than the factory premises, we are also looking the opportunity where we can also contribute to reduce the CO2 footprint. We also help the community to pull about 130 biogas plants, which is helping our 2,400 tons of CO2 reduction around our plant and our community. In operations, we are focusing on the technology adoption and upgradation by using the latest technology of coolers, burners, preheaters, calciners, motors, drives, and also using the digitalization techniques, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and optimization to further reduce our energy consumption as well as improve the performance of our operations. The second pillar of the energy, in 2017, we have our power consumption or power share is coming 88% coming from our TPP or CPP, our own power generation. And we have roughly about 7% green energy, which is coming from WHRS and renewable energy. In 21, we are proud to say that our dependency on the thermal power plants has reduced almost 20%, whereas our WHR contribution in our power mix has increased 1.5 times. And renewable energy, almost 10 times we have built in that, which is solar as well as air power in this one. Just to give you the snapshot of this, what is our plans to build our power mix towards the green energy? Currently, we are 120 megawatt producing on the WHRS. What we are focusing on by FY 22-24, in next 3 years will be ramp up to the 300 megawatt production of the energy by the WHRS. And our energy share of the 10% will be coming from the solar and wind energy. And just to give you the impact of how this works out in our concrete production point of view, we have significantly reduced our specific thermal energy consumption in our concrete footprint also. In addition to that, we are also looking for digital solutions in our thermal power plants. In the past few months, we have seen that almost 0.6% efficiency has been increased with the heat rate improvements, utilization improvement, reliability improvement by using the digital solutions, using the AI and artificial intelligence. We are also adopting the latest technologies to improve the efficiencies. We also have managed to reduce the auxiliary power consumption 1.2%, which is significantly reduce our carbon footprint. Our focus is to build our rooftop solar systems, energy efficient LED lighting towards reducing our carbon footprint. We are focusing our whole 34% of power mix of our operation will be coming from WHRS as well as renewable energy by 2024. This is the aim we are targeting for our pillar number 2. We are also looking for increasing the value of the waste by using the material available. Corrective and additive material, roughly about 20 million tons we have recycled raw material using in the product, which is 29% higher than the last year. The ash which is produced by our own power plants, 100% consumed in our own operations, which is impacting about 13,000 tons of CO2 per annum reduction our carbon footprint. In co-processing, roughly 0.3 million tons of alternative fuels has been used in our operations, and which is equal to the 6% increase compared to the last year. We have also used other material which can be used as the raw materials, about almost close to 2 million tons, which is contributing out 7,500 tons of CO2 reduction in our operations. We are also focusing our concrete business, how to reduce the final footprint of the carbon emission. We are using about 0.28 million tons of recycled material in our ready-mix concrete. We are the first company in India who adopted the Beton wash, which is 3,000 tons of the material which is going to the washing is recycled in our process. We are also focusing on the 50% of raw material used in our concrete business, which is rejected or unused. We are also focusing on advanced materials such as chemical admixtures for the cement and concrete to reduce our carbon footprints, nanomaterials as well as alternative materials for the cement and concrete to develop our reducing our footprint of the CO2. We are focusing here on the circular economy. We are recycling all the waste which is available in our business, as well as coming from the other industries. We are also looking for sustainable construction products. We are almost producing about 8 types of cements, which have the multi-component blended cement also. Our new products are Extralite and ACC block, Readyplast, which is the lowest carbon footprint. Our lowest carbon footprint cement is about 350 kg per ton of kg CO2 per ton of cementous material, which I will say the lowest or maybe the second lowest in India. We are also focused on the concrete product and solution sustainable constructions. India's first eco-friendly concrete we are producing in India. We are also looking our product portfolio based on the performance-based, usage-based concrete as well as decorative concretes, which is helping us to define our portfolio to reduce our CO2 footprint. In green concrete, we have roughly about 200 to 300 kg CO2 per meter cubic concrete. A specific direct emission per ton of concrete, 16% reduced from the last year in our operations. We are also focusing on the new product developments, which is the 3D printing concrete, geopolymer concrete, weather plus cement, ultra lightweight concrete, high impact resistance concrete to improve our portfolio to support our construction technologies. We have also adopted the life cycle assessment for all our products. We will be completing that next coming few years. Here our focus is that to upgrade the standards of the national standards, which will be helping us to drive the product innovation and develop the more portfolio of the product in our cement business and concrete business. Our next pillar is innovation. As I'm sure that some of you may be knowing that UltraTech has a world-class research center, Aditya Birla Science and Technology Center in Mumbai. Although we have a big, very good facility of the research, we are also partnering with the GCCA, Cement Research Institutes, Research Institute and technology providers and OEMs towards developing our innovation solutions towards the decarbonation. Carbon reduction technologies, we are looking for carbon offset projects in the community. We are looking carbon capture and storage and usage, oxy-fuel and oxygen enrichment in our process, CO2 absorption in the concrete to reduce our carbon footprint. Process technologies, alternative calcination technologies, implementing process modeling, use of AI and ML and soft sensors. Energies, hydrogen for energy production and the transportation. Use of solar energy, especially concentrated solar energy for drying and clinkering process. Metal technology, we are developing LC3. We are in the very advanced stage of producing or developing the LC3. Evaluating the low clinker cement, geopolymer, baelite, and multi-blended cement. Usage of the red mud, LD slag, high MgO limestone. I will be say that in India, I think, or in the cement industry, we are the largest user of the red mud in our process as a raw material. Usage of the recycled concrete aggregates, usage of the carbonated, uncarbonated recycled concrete and fines. We're also looking for the product technologies, new carbon-based technologies, synthetic fuels, chemicals, graphenes, and nanotubes. Here we are evaluating, partnering, and exploring to adopt ongoing research and development initiative towards our decarbonation. With this, we are very sure our commitment toward the sustainability as well decarbonization industry will be effective and will be achieving our commitment, what we commit. Thank you very much for the listening and thanks for the comment and looking for the question and answer. Over to you, Randolph.
Thank you. Thank you, Raju. Thank you, Raju, for these most interesting insights about your company's actions in this field and your reviewing and presenting the present and the future performance of your initiatives. And also I wish to congratulate your company for these very fine achievements. Now, as for now, and also regarding the next presentations, we shall allocate about 5 minutes for questions and answers. So I presently do not see in our system any questions coming from the audience. So allow me to address a question to you, Raju. Your initiatives, are they, would you say they are in line with those of other Indian producers, or would you consider yourself among the front runners?
I think we are the partner in our peer companies. As you know that GCCA India is also one of the platform. We are also a member of that. We'll say that all our big cement producers and the big players in the market is aligned with us. And as you know that we are the leader in the market and we have the responsibility to drive this initiative and shape up the industry focus.
Okay.
And if I may just jump in with a question, I've just seen it appear on the Q&A as well, but we've had a lot of discussion about LC3, limestone calcine clays. I'm interested in what you see is the potential for these types of cements in India specifically, where the natural resource profile is different from the rest of the world. Perhaps the issues of limestone availability are also need to be taken into account. What do you think the potential of LC3 is in clinker reduction in India?
Thomas, you rightly said, because I think the deposits and the availability of the calcined for the calcined clay, the clay quality and clay deposits is a very key factor on that. So we have done some mapping and we see that there's some good potentials are there, but definitely the size of the company and things, we have to review all the deposits of the clay in our India.
And then
Oh.
Hello?
Okay, thank you very much. And you also made the point of an internal carbon price.
Yeah.
Obviously, in Europe, we have the emissions trading scheme underway. There's a carbon price for over 40 euros now. How does that work for you? And is it something that you've just introduced? Is it developing? Is it something that you think will help drive down carbon emissions effectively? Could you explain a little bit about how it works?
Yeah, Thomas, I think we have adopted this ICP in about a few years back, 2 or 3 years back. And currently we have set up a price about $10 per ton of carbon. And this is a very much embedded in our process. Any modification, any decision in the cement manufacturing process for upgrade or looking for the change the technology or adopt the technology, this is driving a very strongly in our all decision making. And all our management is fully aligned, fully adopting this methodology for accepting or making the change in the processes towards the lower CO2 productions. A lot of initiative has been defined, and all the new, that we have announced about 14 million ton capacity coming in the next 2 years time, which is also, this was a very much decision-making criteria, how to design, how to adopt the new technologies towards the lower CO2 emission from our cement plants. So it's very much embedded in our process of decision-making.
And if you have an internal carbon price for $10 a ton, for example, when you're evaluating projects or acquisitions, for example, does that mean that you won't go for an acquisition when you factor in your carbon price, whereas other companies may be looking at it without a carbon price and may see a different attractiveness of a particular investment?
That will also drive us to, if we acquire the business which is have the, for example, baseline is different than our internal baseline, but then you will drive over to make some modification, change the technology or invest the money into that operation to bring the same baseline in our legacy plants. So this is also a part of our strategy.
Thank you.
Thomas, I have another question here for Raju from the audience. I read it to you as it comes, Raju, yeah?
Sure.
Could you kindly explain which of the 5 pillars are the main driver to get your targeted 18 million ton per annum reduction of CO2? So
I will say the pillar number 4 and 5, which is the material side as well as our innovation side, is a key focus for all of us.
Okay. Let me see.
As you don't know, because you know that from the energy consumption point of view or efficiency point of view, if you say that Indian cement plants are doing significantly better than the rest of the world, so potential to improve the efficiencies is much more difficult to go for this. Now we need a breakthrough technology or some innovative ideas to make the big shift or leap jump into the whole process to reduce the CO2. That's the reason we are focusing on the 4 and 5.
Okay. And 2 more very quick, because we cannot spend too much time on it. On the question and answers, I mean. The new low CO2 products are more expensive. How does the market receive this new material? Is there a demand or an appetite?
This all depends upon expensive is the subjective, to be honest with you, because we are reducing our carbon footprint or the low CO2 product by using the circular economy or material which is available in the market without to reduce our CO2 footprint by like a fly ash, slag. So many things are available in the market in India, which is, I would say, subjective. This is expensive is subjective, but we are using the material which are bringing the CO2 down and maintaining the cost which customer can pay.
Okay, quickly, how is the potential? Now I cannot read it anymore because it's covered by a panelist. Sorry, one moment.
How is the potential available for
For
recycled
availability
concrete?
of recycled concrete aggregate. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
As I think, as you know, that India has already started this, and I think we are the first concrete producers. We have started this. Yes, there is a few challenges are there, so we are working on that technology as well as how to use this recycled concrete. This is also taken with our peer in
That 17 million ton capacity with a target in about 2 years of 136, if I understood you correctly. Would you say this is India oriented, or would it be out of also out of the borders?
in our strategy of developing, I think we are looking for outside India also, which is like our operation in the Middle East, UAE. We are also looking for expansion in that area. But this is all depends upon the market availability, and you know that how this market dynamics is working on right now. What are the potential and what are the opportunity comes, Ultratech is ready to take the opportunity.
Very well. Well, again, Raju, thank you so much for this
Thank you.
very fine presentation and to answering your all the questions here. And I pass over to Thomas first, or shall we immediately jump into Indonesia?
Well, just another great thank you to Mr. Goyal for that presentation. We really appreciate his time and for addressing us here today. I will share the next presentation, and if you'd like to make the introduction, Randolph, to Pak Widodo.
Certainly. So I'm pleased to welcome my old friend and colleague, Pak Widodo Santoso, the chairman of Asosiasi Cement Indonesia, the Indonesian Cement Association. Via the assistance of Thomas in London, Pak Widodo will make the presentation from Jakarta. Pak Widodo had a long career in senior management in with various group companies of Cement Indonesia prior to becoming the chairman of ASI. So, selamat siang, Pak Widodo. Silakan tolong, ya, please proceed.
Selamat siang.
Dan Pak.
As my voice clear, Mr. Renson?
Yes, pasti. Very good.
Okay.
Everything okay? Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning, the audience in London, in Europe. Yeah. Good afternoon for who are in Asia. So, thank you, my friend, Mr. Rudolph Wilson and Mr. Thomas, invite me for the presentation. Thank you, the Almighty good, for the blessing that we are today in healthy and good condition. Thank you to the cemtech for organizing this webinar. It's very good moment to update and share knowledge in this pandemic era. Without further ado, allow me to start my presentation. So Right now, I just presented about the demand and supply and production, yeah, but I have not supply about the condition of plan, like how many, how to efficiency for production and how to manage the CO2. So I just presentation about the production and market, yeah, and export. But if you have question about the others, if possible, I will answer. So first of all, I will information about cement industry in Indonesia, 2020. Yeah. National cement consumption was decreased very significant when compared to 2019, with minus 10.7%, when the total volume reached 62.5 million tons per year. Almost all region experience decline. So I saw that in Indonesia we divide 6 regions. So the big island in Java is minus 13.6%. They have a very big share in my country, around 50% share in Java Island. Yeah. And Sumatra, minus 4.1%. Kalimantan, minus 10.8%. And next slide, please, next slide. Yeah. Yes. And in Sulawesi, yeah, in Sulawesi is around minus 11.8%. In Bali, Nusa Tenggara, this tourist island is very bad condition, is minus 13.7% demand in Bali and Nusa Tenggara. Only Maluku Papua, east side region, growth around 9.6%. So the Indonesian cement industry recorded a very good export to increase the utilization of the plant. In 2020, total volume is 9.2 million tons, successfully delivered to the several main destination countries such as Australia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and even China. Growth of the total cement and clinker export from Indonesia in 2020 reached around 41%. So the next, this is a map of the plant in my country. So my country is very long distance, yeah, from west to east. That's around 10,000 kilometers. So in the west one, the Sumatra Island, we have two big cement plant. It's a cement Padang. It's the oldest plant. It's 1910 already built. Yeah, 1910. Yeah, capacity around 9 million ton. And then the bottom is cement Batu Raja. Is two plant. It's around 3.5 million ton Batu Raja. And then Java many new plant, because Java is around 55% yeah, demand cement in Java. So in Java we have around six plants. Yeah, the first is SCG, new coming, and we have SCG, and we have cement Merah Putih. Yeah. And Tiga Roda, Tiga Roda is the biggest plant. Is the old plant, yeah, in 1985 start building, yeah. There's the biggest, around 25 million ton, yeah, capacity. And the bottom is Chuisin, yeah, there's a new plant too, just 1.5 million ton. And the left side is cement Bima. Cement Bima is around 1 million ton, and bottom, on the bottom is cement Bima, yes, in the middle of Java. And the last is oh, sorry. And you coming, Mr. Cement Bima, yes, cement Bima, yeah. Yeah, the right side, and yes, this one is cement Bima in the middle of Java. This new one, just 3 years ago, yeah, capacity around 1.5 million ton. And the oldest one is cement Gresik. Yeah, cement Gresik is around 22 million ton capacity. And the second in Kalimantan. In Kalimantan, Borneo is Borneo, Kalimantan, and the up, yeah, the big island on the middle, the big island middle, on the middle. There are two plants. We have a Consumane. Consumane is mean from China. There are two plants. The capacity is 3.5 million ton. We have two plants. And cement Tiga Roda, you have two. There are capacity around 2 million ton. So we have to plan in Consumane. And the right side is syllabus, is Sulawesi. They have 3 plants there. The first is oldest one, Tonasa. They are around 8 million ton. They have four plants there. And they built in 1968, yeah, the start built, yeah. 1968, yeah, that's oldest one. Yeah. And then the cement Buswa is, you have to plan the capacity of 5 million ton, yeah. And short syllabus, yeah, short syllabus. And the new one is a Consumane, built new one too in not Sulawesi, syllabus. The capacity around 2 million ton. Okay, and the last is in small one in Nusa Tenggara Timur. They have cement Kupang, a small one, 400,000 ton. And the Irian Jaya, this new plant, yeah, Consumane, in the Manokwari. In Irian Jaya, Manokwari, yes, this one. This new one is 3 years ago, yeah. Capacity around 2 million ton. So these are the plan of the cement manufacture in Indonesia. It's mean from the west to side complete, yeah. So we don't have any problem about deliver cement for infrastructure or property. Okay, the next. So this is design capacity. So we have a big capacity in ASEAN. This is number one in ASEAN. My capacity from 19, 20, and 21 always increase. So in 19, 110. And 2020 already increased 117 million ton around this one. So we have a big capacity. So from cement Padang, I told you before, the capacity of cement Padang is 8.9, cement Gresik 19.2, cement Tonasa 7.5, and solusi Bangun Indonesia is mean. Sorry, Bangusa is before is Holcim, yeah, Holcim Cement, yeah. Now by Cement Indonesia company. So now the name is Solusi Bangun Indonesia is 15.5 million ton, and this one is Cement Indonesia Group. The capacity is around how much? Around 40 million ton. Yeah. So this is the biggest one, around 55%. Yeah, with capacity whole one. Indocement Tunggal Perkasa, yeah, the biggest one is 25.5 million ton. Cement Batu Raja, I told you before, 3.8 9 ton. And then semen Boswa, semen Gumilang, Chuisin, this new one. Yeah. Semen Gumilang, new one, Chuisin, new one, split, Sinar Tambang Artal Stardi is new one, semen Java is new one, Consumen is new one. We have around 5, yeah. And now the last one, yeah, is under construction, yeah, already market start. Hong Xi Cement. Hong Xi Cement is 3 million ton in Java, and Cement Grobogan is under construction, is 9 million ton. So total is 116 million ton. But so sorry, but the demand still low. Yes, domestic is around 65 million ton. Yeah, so we have overcapacity too much, around 40 or 40 million ton, but we have export around 10, and then the overcapacity around 40 million ton. Okay, the next. This one is domestic cement consumption by region. So I told you in Java, the left side, Java is the island not too big, but the population is around 150 million people there. So everybody need housing. So why the share demand in Java around 44%, 44% Java, or around 34 million ton. 34 million ton in Java. Yeah. Ton is around, okay. But, you know, in Java, right now, minus on 2020, minus 13.1%. Yeah. And Sumatra, yeah, is the biggest population too. So the demand is around 14.3, but to last year is 13.8 million ton. So decrease minus 3.9. So the Sumatra is quite big demand too, share around 22%. So if I told you before, Java 54% and Sumatra 22%. And then Sulawesi, number 3, around 9%. In Sulawesi, kapasitas, the demand from 6 million ton decreased 5.3 million ton. So decrease almost minus 12%. And Bali Nusa Tenggara is, the capacity, demand is 4.1 million ton, but this last year is 3.5 million ton, around 13.7 minus, because in Bali is a tourist city, tourist island. So now no tourists come to my country, so the economy will go down. So the cement follow, goes down 13.7. Maluku Papua is area of Indonesia, still good, 1.8, and then increase almost 2 million. So increase 9.6%. So total demand in 2020 goes down to become 62.7 million ton, or decrease minus 10.4%. This is a condition industrial cement industry because pandemic COVID-19. I think every country have not good situation of economy. Okay, continue. So I told you before, the Java is a very big population, around 150 million people. So capacity, is the number one. Capacity is 72.3 million ton. It's very, very big. But, the demand only 33.8 on the bottom. the red one, the red block red. No, this one. The demand only 33.8. It's been almost half, 40% only. So everybody will be go to other country to sell the production. So we look the condition for 2060 until 2020. 2060, we increase Sumatra around 12% demand increase in domestic. So because there are many infrastructure is built there during this time. And then 2018 still good, so goes down, but still increase 4.1%, compared with 2017. But still good in Java, and then 2019 decreased to 0.3%, but still increase around 35 million ton in Java. But pandemic problem, COVID-19, goes down 13.6 million ton. So from in 2019 is 39 million ton. So in 2020 only 33.5. This means decrease around 6 million. 6 million from 39 to become 33. 6 million. This is a very bad condition here. Because everybody to delay for building property and construction, everything. Continue. This is Java Island, the biggest demand, and then now we have Sumatra. In Sumatra, I told you the second number demand cement in here because population around 60 million people. So the capacity is 16 million ton in Sumatra. But the demand on 2020 decreased to become 13.7. So we still offer capacity around 3 million ton. So 3 million ton. And we look the right side on 2016, we increased 6.3, 17, decreased more 5.9, 4.9%. And 2018 decreased again 5.9%, very good, around 15 million ton, around almost 15 million ton per year. But on 2019 decreased 4% around, so to become 12.5 million ton per year in 2019. But 2020, so minus 4.3, so a little decrease compared with 2019. As Sumatra decrease production, but not too much, only minus 4%. Not like in Java, minus more than 11%. Okay, this condition of the Sumatra. So the third region is Kalimantan. Kalimantan Borneo. So I told you before, we have 3 plants, 2 plants there, is Mentigaroda and Consmen. The capacity is 5.8 million ton, 5.8 million ton. But the demand is 3.9 ton, 3.9 million ton. So we still have a 2 million ton offer. So in Kalimantan, 2020 decreased 10.9%. It means same with others island. So the increasing from 2016 is good, 12 minus 12.3%, and then 2017 increase 1.8, and 2019 18 is increased 7.3%, and 2019 decreased 0.8%, and 2020 decreased 10.8%. This is quite big, yeah. So the consumption, like in 2016, yeah, around 3.8 million ton per year, but capacity is 5.8 million ton. So we still have many production not sale, yeah. Okay, continue to the other island is Sulawesi. Sulawesi is very good here, yeah. Yeah, number 3, the people, the number of population, but capacity very big here. Because there are 2 big cement plant in Sulawesi and South Sulawesi. That is Cement Tonasa, built on 1968, and Cement Boswa, built in 1985. That's quite a long years ago, 30 years ago. So the new one, Con Cement, is just 2 years ago, around 3 million ton. So total is 13.8 million ton. It's very big. But you look here, the demand volume only 5.4 million ton. So we oversupply too much, yeah, around 7 million ton over capacity in Sulawesi. So now as Mentonasa just prepare, concentrate to export. Yeah, last year there's a Mentonasa around 2 million ton export, yeah. Otherwise your tuition will be very low. You can imagine the capacity is 13.8 million ton, but demand only 5.3. So I mean, there's a bad condition. But we look at the increasing demand here. 2016 is we increased 13 million ton. It's 13%, and on 17 3.2% increase. 2018 increase 6%, and 2019 is very good, yeah. Increase 8%. So the demand almost 6 million ton. Very good condition of 2019. Yeah. But on the pandemic, decreased many, yeah. So from 6 million ton goes down to become 4.5 million ton. Can you imagine? So mean we decrease 2.5 million ton demand cement in Sulawesi because effect for pandemic COVID-19. This Sulawesi. So increase. Okay, next the last is this tourist island in Bali and Nusa Tenggara, very bad now, yeah. So capacity is no only 400 cement Kupang, small one, but usually there's support from Java plan, yeah, Java Island. There are many plans to send the product to this area. So we look, 2016 is increased 1%, 2017 increased 5.5%, and then 19 still increased 3.3%, and then 2019 very good, increase very big, 7.5%. So the capacity on 2019 is 4 million ton. But now capacity only 2.8 million ton. So decrease around just 19.7, around 20% decrease. I mean 2 million ton. Yeah. From 5 million ton decrease to 3.5. Yeah. Yeah. Very big decline. Okay, continue. The last is in East Indonesia. There are many. The biggest island in Indonesia, but population are very low, not too much. So why the demand is not too big. Yeah. The capacity is cement plant there is cement 1.5 million tons. But there are many packing plants, like in Sorong, we have packing plant, in Ambon, a small island, Ambon, we have packing plant, many packing plant. They serve from cement Indonesia, from Tonasa, from Bosua. They serve cement by ship, go to the area. So the capacity almost same, yeah. The demand 1.5 and the capacity 1.9. Still biggest capacity than demand. Okay, the condition is 2016 a 6% increase, 17 a 2.9 increase, 2060 4.7% increase, 2019 is 14.5% increase, and 2020 goes down, but still plus 9%. So they are not quite affect for COVID. So very good, still increase 9.6%. This is a condition of domestic demand in Indonesia. Like another country, demand decrease. Okay, now we're talking about export. Continue. Oh, sorry. This is a figure of bag and bulk. Bag cement, bag is meant for property. Bulk cement usually for the infrastructure and project strategies. So the bag cement, we look, the bag cement from 2016 always increase, increase. 2018 increase, 2019 still increase, and then 2010 decrease, decrease around 5% back from okay. This bag cement decrease around 5%, but for bulk cement, the middle one, this the big decrease from, so I mean 2016 increase 6%, 2017 increase 11%, 2018 still increase, and 2019 still increase for 6.8%, but 2020 decreased around 30%. Around 30%. That's because the infrastructure is goes down. So it's been your left side, the blue one is bag cement. The right side, the blue color is 77% is the property, housing, and 20% is for the infrastructure, road, bridge, and project strategies in Indonesia. This is condition of domestic consumption in my country. Okay, now we look for the export. This is main clinker export. So we are lucky. Total volume of export cement in clinker was 9.2 million tons, which grows around 41%. This is the biggest cement imported. Countries from Indonesia in 2020 are China, Bangladesh, Australia. This is the biggest one. China's number 1, 40%, and Bangladesh number 2, 30%, Australia 9%, Philippines 6%, and the other is Timor-Leste, Taiwan, Mauritius, Malaysia, and others. This map of the cement and clinker export. So because the export is 9.2%, so the total consumption that we consume domestic plus export is only goes down 6% only. But domestic is 10.6%, but export increase around 40%. So the total demand, export and domestic, just a minus 6%. So we are happy because export is very good. Okay, continue. This average year 21. So I report until April, January until May. Yeah. Okay, continue. Okay, this is one. Just mean January and May total volume is 23.5 million ton. Yeah. In Java, still the biggest one, 40% share. In Sumatra, 22%. And Sulawesi, 10%. And Kalimantan, 6%. Bali Sanggara is 5%. And Malupapa, 6%. So we look the condition during, so I mean, this was is, yeah, January until, yes, this one, yeah. January until this one, January until Maret, yeah. So January little bit decrease, February little bit increase. So total consumption January until, oh sorry, yeah, in Maret, I mean in March 3.6 million ton. But okay, we increase demand in January and May is on domestic is around 5%. January until May increase around 5%. Yeah. Domestic, but export is good. Export, we will look. Okay, next, and the next slide is export. Export now. Export is quite good, yeah, very good. Domestic, I told you before, is increased 5%, January until May. But export, you know, export total is 4.6 million ton. This space is increased around 120%, yeah, because before only 3.5 million ton. Yeah. So the total number one is now is Bangladesh. Yeah. In 2020, before is China, now Bangladesh is number one, almost 40%. Yeah, because but it's one clinker. Yeah, Bangladesh just received the clinker, not cement. And second is China, is 14%. The third is Philippines and Taiwan and others, many small ones. Yeah. So I show you the January, you know, the blue one is 2020, the red one is 2021. So the January almost twice, yeah, export. February almost more than twice, yeah. And then Maret, yeah, more than twice too, yeah. Because Maret, on Maret is 1.3, the biggest one, 1.3 million ton per month. And then April same, yeah, this is still biggest, 1.2 million ton on April. Last year only 6,000 ton, twice. And May, last month, still more than 1 million ton, 1.1 million ton, but 2020 is only 600, so almost, yeah, increased 80%. There's a situation, so my industrial plan make happy because even the domestic just increased 5% compared to 20, but the export quite good. So the total export and domestic January until June is around 20% increase, around 20% compared with 2020. I mean total. Okay, this situation export and domestic in my country. Okay, continue. This is just, I told you before, we only presentation about production and marketing, we not export. But I show you, but The first presentation talk about CO2. So Indonesia cement industry is very good for program for in decreasing the CO2. Yeah, in 2019 we decreased the total emission CO2 around 3.8 million ton per year. And 2020 decreased around 5 million ton CO2. So there's a good number, yeah. And of course, the government forced us how to efficient production and use the cement, green cement to decrease the clinker factor. So the result is very good. So the conclusion is the first in 2021, cement domestic demand will not be as strong as in 2019, but it will be better than 2020. Cement domestic demand is estimated that by the end of 2020 will grow, yes, around 6 to 8% lah, yeah, in compared with 2020, but still less than 2019 because 2020 we decreased 10%, but now my estimate 2020 compared with what 2020 just 6.8%. Yeah. But we have good chance for export demand. 2021 is expected to reach 10 million tons. And the less is 9 million tons last year, but this year 10, I suppose maybe 11, but minimum 10 million tons. So it just increase the utilization of the plant. So currently, the condition of oversupply in the countries is still happening, and it is estimated until 2026, when cement domestic demand is approximately 6.5% increasing. So until 2026, we still oversupply because we also supply around 40 million tons. So now still 75. 2026, if the demand increase 5%, we still oversupply. The last is if the COVID-19 pandemic can be controlled, it will most likely have a major impact on the country's economic growth and also the cement industry, so the demand will be back to the normal. So that is from me. Thank you for the for opportunity. I hope presentation will fulfill your interest to the Indonesian cement industry. Looking forward your support to the industry of Indonesia. Indonesia ready to supply both clinker and cement to the countries. For of you, the webinar participant. One, I hope this webinar will have a meaningful and fruitful discussion. Stand healthy and stand strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih, Pak Widodo. Thank you very much. Thank you for this very interesting update on the present condition, but also on the challenges which Indonesia is facing. Not only the cement industry is facing, but the country itself. Because as you very well mentioned at the end, that if COVID gets, if we can get out of COVID, the demand will be better. But you and I, from our experience here, know that presently the situation is still very much very difficult here for us. So it can also have a negative effect. Nevertheless, it was also good to hear that there is a good increase both in demand, but also you are very well helped by export, which of course helps, can help a very lot. Now I have a question, Pak, is about the overcapacity, which we all know is a major headache for for Indonesian cement industry. Tell me, what are the plans of the government? Is the government will the government try to stop further investments? Have they done any regulations about it, or is the government letting the market play by itself? Is there a regulation right now for the implementation of new plans? Yes or no?
Hello, Pat Widodo.
Widodo?
I think he's on mute.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Winston. We already discussion with government because oversupply, and we have deal that we minimize the infestation of the cement plant. We give chance for the east area in Papua and Maluku. They can build there, because there's still one plant in Irian Jaya. But the other area we are harmful to build because we already all over capacity, like in Java, Sulawesi, Kalimantan, and this just this one the deal from association and government, Pak Vincent. Thank you.
Okay. Another question from the audience was, there are plans by the government of Indonesia to move the capital to Kalimantan. If that project ever goes through, what is the effect on the cement demand in Kalimantan? Are there enough cement plants there to fulfill the cement needs for this capital, or may it create some shortfalls?
Yes, I hear the Kalimantan will build one plant. And maybe the deal is already 1.5 years ago, maybe. But of course, they has disrupt the cement plant who already built there. But they promise the capacity, the production just for export. This I hear for this information. They concentrate for the export. Yes, Mr. Vincent.
Okay, one more question about the investment by Chinese cement producers over the past years. What is your opinion on this? How do you evaluate this? Was this a good move, or was there already enough capacity? Was this a good? How would you evaluate it now, looking back?
Okay. Of course,
I'm sorry.
of course, this one should be no good for the X61, but we are just welcome, because already built, So I just suggest to them, please more big export than sell to domestic. This like this, Mr. Vincent.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas, do you have any questions directly for Mr. Widodo?
We have many there. We have questions.
No, I know. I thought you had some personal ones. I thought one of your own. One of your own.
Yeah, we have five questions.
Yeah.
This one is this one from Mr. Alvin Aukiller.
Yes.
This Indonesia speak apa efek dari investasi dari China? So we already answer,
We answered that one already,
already. And then ada apa rencana ASI tentang rencana perpindahan ibu kota?
We talked about that. Sudah.
Same. And another, mengapa ada kapasitas tinggi di Sulawesi kalau tidak ada demand di sana? Yes. This one is this good answer, good question. Pak Vincent, on 2012, the demand cement very big increasing.
Yes.
Around 3 million ton per year. 2012. 2013 around 3 million ton. Everybody is thinking that because this year we import, yeah. So everybody say that if every year's increase to 0.5 million ton, it means 5 years, it means around 15 million ton.
Yes,
so everybody built start on 2013, 2014. But unfortunately, start on 2014, 15, decline, increasing not 70%, when just only 4%, 5%. And unfortunately, on 2016, maybe, there's zero, no increasing. So this one is everybody misestimation, yeah. So why? So all the project just production on start product on 2016, 2017. But 2016, 17 increase only 3%. So why we are offer way too much? This one.
Okay. Pak Widodo, will there be a tariff on imported cement?
No, we not no import cement this year. I am happy.
Not at all. Okay.
Not at all. Just white clinker we import. White clinker.
But how about? Is there a plan for a CO tax by the Indonesian government?
No.
CO2 tax. I mean, CO2 tax.
But we propose for carbon market. Carbon market.
Okay.
We make regulation for carbon market. It means cement standard is maybe now is 500 kilogram per ton cement. But if somebody more than this one should be buy for the other industry who has a very good efficient for CO2. This one, Mr. Wilson. Thank you.
Okay. Is the demand shrinking due to COVID only, or is there also other reasons why the demand is shrinking, has been shrinking?
What do you mean? I'm not clear. Demand?
Has the reduction in cement demand, was it mostly caused by COVID, or were there other factors too?
Yeah. Just COVID is number one. Yeah.
Mostly COVID.
COVID. Because during 2020, the budget of infrastructure deduct around 40% for the COVID improvement. This problem.
Okay.
But this year, the government promised that infrastructure will be increased again, will be start again. Compared with 2019, will increase around 30%. So we are happy.
Okay. Very good. I don't see any further questions here. So once again, Pak Widodo, terima kasih sekali. Thank you very much for being with us. And I hope to see you again in live, but in live very soon, yeah?
Yeah. I long for you, Mr. Wilson, when you go to Jakarta.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih, Pak. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, Pak.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Thomas.
So thank you very much, Pak Widodo. And I think we're ready, Randolph, for the third and final presentation.
Very good. Okay, to conclude this first session, we shall now hear about the south-down shift of business investment strategies of Japan's largest cement maker, Taheo Cement Company. The speaker is Mr. Hiroyuki Egawa, Senior Manager, Business Planning Department within the International Business Department of Taheo. Prior to that position, which he is holding since 2020, he has served as Managing Director of Taheo's subsidiary, PNG Taihyo Cement Company. Konnichiwa Hiroyuki-san, please go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much for introduction, Mr. Winkins.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning in UK and good evening in Asian people. My name is Hiroyuki Egawa, Senior Manager of Business Planning Department in Taihyo Cement Corporation. Our department is in charge of overseas M&A matters and build the plans leading to the expansion of the business in the company from the strategic point of view. Before starting my presentation, on behalf of Taihyo Cement Corporation, I'd like to say thank you very much for the invitation to the session by the team of International Cement Review. I'm very grateful for everything organized by the team, Mr. Thomas Armstrong, Managing Editor, and Mr. Kieran Matthews, Assistant Editor in ICR. Now I'd like to start my presentation today, and the topic is the international business and the expansion strategies of Taihyo Cement Corporation. Today I will focus on our key strategy for business expansion and investment in Southeastern Asia, and we are naming the strategy as South Downshift. The contents are composed of 3 items. Firstly, I'd like to speak about the introduction of the company, and secondly, going to international business and expansion strategies. Thirdly, I'd like to speak about the sustainable development and the environment, including recycling and treatment of waste, and contributing to Asia's low carbon transition. So this slide explains the company profile of Taihyo, number of operating countries, number of cement plants, and history. We have 140 years company history, and it is one of the longest companies here in Japan, having a longest history, and registered in Tokyo Stock Exchange. Our cement sales volume is 36 million tons, and waste materials input for cement production 410 kilograms waste per ton cement. And the sales revenue is $8 billion US dollars, and the operating income and the number of employees. There are some sales segment in our company. Cement sales occupies in 66%, and the mineral resources and the embedded business and the business construction materials, such kind of a business occupies just around 8 to 9% in our sales. And from the geographic point of view, sales by area, the operation in Japan occupies 78%, and operation in the States occupies 15%. So in Asia, we have some cement plants. There are 2 in China, and 1 in Vietnam, and 1 in the Philippines. And we also have cement terminals in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore, and 1 grinding station in Papua New Guinea. It's very close to Irian Jaya, Indonesia. It's upper north from Australia. And we have the biggest cement operation, Calportan Cement, outside Japan, which has clinker production capacity of 4.7 million tons in USA. And we have the clinker production capacity of 70.7 million tons per year in Japan, and 4.4 million in other Asian countries, and 2.5 in China. So totally combined together, we have 29.3 million tons for clinker production capacity. So the slide shows the numbers and locations of domestic cement plants in Japan. We have 6 cement plants directly owned by Taiheiyo and 3 cement plants owned by our subsidiary company all over Japan, and together 17,790,000 tons. So this is a great photo showing our domestic main plant, Oita plant, located in southern part of Japan for the shipment to the domestic market and export to the market overseas. It was built in 1919 and it has production capacity of clinker 4.1 million tons and exporting clinker 1.8 million tons and exporting cement 300,000 tons in in the year of 2019. So I'm focusing on our trading business on this slide. Taiheiyo has marketing and trading department in our division, dealing with the export from Japan and using outside source of Japan as offshore trading. I think that it is a very unique policy to handle the exporting business by cement company itself in Japan. Other cement manufacturers in Japan export cement and the clinker usually through the collaboration with the trading companies. But we directly contact with our own customers in the world and arrange the ships to deliver the cargoes. The trading volume of Taiheiyo reached around 8.3 million tons totally in the year of 2019. Cement and clinker export from Japan was recorded around 3.8 million tons. Offshore trading was 3 million tons, exporting from China and Vietnam and Korea, shown in this red ink. And we are also additionally dealing with the 1.5 million tons cementitious materials, such as the granulated blast furnace slag and fly ash. So now we move on to the second part of my presentation regarding the international business and expansion strategies. Taiheiyo has been shifting business asset portfolio from Eastern Asia to Southeastern Asian region. So we are naming this strategy Southland Shift, and in the year of 2030, so we will foresee more numbers of our business location in Southeastern Asian region compared with 2010. We categorize each market in the world where we are deploying our cement plants and the trading business. We categorize the Japanese market as a mature market, and Chinese and the Korean market as a saturated market. On the other hand, in Southeastern Asian region, we will see the growth in the future in this market, which is said to be an emerging market now. In proportion to the population and the GDP increase, we expect more business chances in these countries. So we will seek for the expansion opportunities of the business through the synergy with the potential partners. We will find another material source in the region exporting to the growing markets such as the United States. So we have the US operations, and the States achieved the cement demand growth around 2% year-on-year basis, approximately 100 million tons in the year of 2020, even though there were some big impacts of COVID-19 to the US economy. We found the early recovery in construction sector and the new housing market. We are also expecting that the US market will be keeping a steady demand for cement consumption. So Taiheiyo will search for the additional business chances in the USA as well. So I will explain the reason why we categorize the Southeast Asian region, like countries like Indonesia and the Philippines, as the emerging market in the slide. First of all, cement consumption per capita in Indonesia and the Philippines are still lower in the chart, such as 296 kilograms in the Philippines and 258 in Indonesia. It's relatively lower in Southeast Asian countries, and also rather than the Great Britain, France, Japan, like developed countries. And the chart in the right side shows the cumulative cement consumption per capita in each country. The growth of cement demand stops or gets slower when it reaches 20 to 30 metric tons at a cumulative basis. And then in some cases, maybe we will see the demand growth may decline. So now we find cumulative cement consumption per capita in the Philippines and in Indonesia, 7 metric tons and 5.5 metric ton per capita. So this is these are equivalent level in Malaysia 20 years ago. So we estimate the year when both markets reach around 20 metric tons of cumulative cement consumption per capita. It is around 2047. So it means that both markets still have a big chance or allowance to achieve the continuous growth in cement demand. So this is a summary of movement for Southern Shift. In the States, we purchased our Grande plant for 120 million US dollars in 2015, and in Indonesia, we reached a comprehensive business partnership with Cement Indonesia Group. In the Philippines, we plan to expand our new production line at 275 million US dollars. In Vietnam, expansion of cement distribution silo, and we sold in China, sold the entire equity interest in our subsidiary company. And as I explained, that the volume of trading for the fiscal year of 2019 is totally 8.3 million tons. So I just pick up to show you the photo of a cement operation located in San Fernando, Cebu, in the Philippines. Cement production capacity is 2.2 million tons and established in 1989, and we acquired full portion of the equity in 2003, and we are planning to install a new production line around the 275 million US. So I also pick up another information in Indonesia. Tahir agrees with Cement Indonesia Group for the comprehensive business partnership, which is worth of capital alliance of 220 million US dollar with Cement Indonesia Group. The basic concept of the partnership is creating business chance by participating in Indonesia's cement market. And the most important one is to establish a strategic partnership for cement trading business with Cement Indonesia Group. So thirdly, we are going into the part of my presentation regarding the topic of sustainable development and the environment. This chart shows the amount of waste and the byproducts used in cement production in Japan. We reached the historical highest consumption in domestic cement market in 1990s. Highest demand was recorded in the year of 1990 just around 86 million tons. But in proportion to the decrease of the demand for last 30 years, the volume of cement production has been decreasing 58 million tons in the year of 2019. It is more than 30% decrease against the peak year. However, you will see the increase of specific amount of waste and the byproducts used in cement production. It means that the cement industry in Japan stably accepts waste and the byproducts, even if we have to reduce the cement production volume. So the cement industry in Japan contribute to the society and accomplish its social responsibility by utilizing a certain amount of waste and byproducts. So in the year of 2019, cement industry in Japan treated the waste and the byproducts around 27 million tons. We utilize blast furnace slag and the coal ash and the soil slag and waste plastic. Recently, we are prohibited to export waste plastic, especially to the other countries under the Basel Convention. It is required to treat waste plastic properly in the country. So Taiheiyo takes the countermeasure to increase the transporting capacity for accepting more volume waste plastic to our main plant. In this year, cement industry in Japan treated 750,000 tons of waste plastic, and the Taiheiyo also accepted to treat around 200,000 tons of waste plastic in this 2019. This chart shows historical annual figures of specific summer energy consumption for cement production in Japan. Specific summer energy consumption for cement production decreased drastically in 1970 and the 1980s because the cement manufacturing process in Japan was converted to the new process by SP kiln and the NSP kiln. After the replacement to SP and the NSP kiln was completed in 1997, in these 2 decades, we have not achieved a drastic reduction of specific thermal energy consumption in the cement manufacturing process. In these years, we have tried to achieve the reduction of specific thermal energy consumption by replacing old facility to the new upgraded one, such as a new generation of the clinker cooler based on the energy saving strategy. Since 1980s, cement industry in Japan started to use biomass and alternative fuels. The red line indicates net energy consumption excluding biomass and alternative fuels. The blue line indicates the gross energy consumptions, including biomass and alternative fuels. And green line indicates the trend before 1980s, while we are not using so much the biomass and alternative fuels. This slide shows the example of recycling municipal waste in our cement plant. It is a unique system in our cement operation to recycle municipal waste. The plant is located at the suburban area from Tokyo, and it has a clinker production capacity of 1.4 million tons in a year. There are, you see, recycling facility for treatment of waste in parallel with rotary kiln for clinker production. This waste recycling kiln was converted from old rotary kiln for clinker production before. So this system is called the AK system. It is a system for recycling household waste and general business waste as alternative raw materials and the fuels for cement manufacturing. The wastes are processed through biological breakdown, fermentation, using a waste recycling kiln. Taiheiyo recycles 15,000 tons of municipal waste discharged by the 54,000 population of the local city for utilization. And then finally, this local government could close all the incinerators. The treating process is like this way. For the day one, takes 3 days for the fermentation of the waste materials, and then pulverizing and classifying the materials to be fed into the rotary kiln. This is a more popular way of recycling the waste for the cement industry. In Japan, we treated 65,000 tons of waste tires in the year of 2019. The slide shows the stockyard for waste plastic at the Oita plant, our main plant, and the crushing process of waste plastic. So 10 years ago, we experienced a big earthquake in the Upper North region from Tokyo. One of our domestic cement plant is located there and get highly damaged its facilities. And after the revitalizing the production facility, the plant treated 1 million tons of disaster waste for 3 years, cumulative basis after this earthquake, like this way. And for the summary of the utilizing waste, all the Taiheiyo Group's cement plant in Japan accept waste and byproducts for recycling. In the year of 2020, Taiheiyo recycled approximately 6.4 million tons of waste and byproducts, which is equal to recycling 410 kg of waste and byproducts per ton of cement produced. So finally, I'd like to speak about a topic related to the contribution to Asia's low carbon transitions. We have just started the related project to the carbon neutral. This slide shows the image of CO2 emissions reduction roadmap, which is formulating a long-term vision toward the year of 2050. In March 2020, we set up and released our roadmap to achieve the goal of 80% reduction in CO2 emission by 2050, which is describing 80% reduction of specific net CO2 emission in cement production against the year of 2000 level. In addition, we aim to avoid emissions equivalent to 20% of CO2 emissions through the value chain of cement and the cement-related products. These reductions will be in the fields of use and the reuse of cement, power generation for cement production, and transportation. On the way to this roadmap, in 2050, we are working to reduce emissions from cement production by 10% or more from the year of 2000 levels until 2025. In order to achieve the goal of 80% reduction in CO2 emission by 2050, we need to develop innovative technologies as well as to advance the application and the development of existing technologies. So now Taiheiyo Group formulated 3 reduction scenarios for lowering CO2 emissions in cement production: application scenario, advanced scenario, innovation scenario. Application scenario consists of countermeasures to incorporate the energy saving facilities, use an alternative energy sources from fossil fuel, and increase the blended cementitious materials such as slag, fly ash, and add mixtures to the components of the ordinary Portland cement. Advanced scenario consists of utilizing lower CO2 energy sources such as natural gas and increases use of alternative energy sources and design and development of a new low CO2 cement utilizing new materials. Innovation scenario consists of the methods which are expected to be developed in the future as innovative technologies like carbon capture, utilization, and storage applicable for cement production. Without these kind of new innovative technologies like carbon capture and CCU, we cannot achieve the goal for 2050. This is the last slide showing the one example which we are trying to develop as an innovative technology for the reduction of greenhouse gas emission. The purpose of the project is to develop carbon circulation technology for the cement industry, such as carbon capture from kiln exhaust gas as cement plants, and the utilization of captured CO2 throughout the cement value chain. These are the key technology to achieve the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions in the innovation scenario. We also focus on the utilization of demolished concrete generated from existing buildings and infrastructures in order to circulate both resources and CO2. Some demolished concrete is reused for construction materials such as road bed material for road construction after CO2 absorption. Some of them are reused as raw material for cement production after retrieving calcium. These kind of innovative technologies are yet to be established and under study in our lab. This project is an important step for Taiheiyo to try to develop innovative technology for the reduction of greenhouse gas emission in the future. So we are continuously making efforts to research and develop these kind of related innovative technologies. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for having me.
Egawa-san, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this very detailed presentation. As a matter of fact, I think we got a little bonus because we got two presentations from you, one about the business development aspect and also about the sustainability. So thank you very much for this. Obviously, we have a few questions either related to the business development or to the sustainability. Maybe I want to ask you first a question regarding your business development into Asia, into Indonesia, I'm sorry. One of our attendants is asking, is saying, Lafarge-Holcim left Indonesia recently, yet Taiheiyo Cement is entering into Indonesia. Is there any way you could share with us what you perceive as the different strategy here by your two companies?
Two companies?
Well, the different strategy between Taiheiyo entering Indonesia and Lafarge-Holcim exiting Indonesia. Sorry.
So now I think that for the Indonesia, we just now start a collaboration with Cement Indonesia Group. That's one of the trigger to make a basic location for our utilization of our trading business partially. But we are now expecting our exporting business from Japan to United States, another country to United States. Because now in the States, our operation is buying around more than 1 million tons for the cement. But we are just regarding at one of our important one of the source for exporting for Indonesia. So that's why that we just started to reach an agreement, including this kind of a trading business, and also that collaboration with through the Semi Indonesia to export our another technological benefits to Indonesia major companies.
Very good. Thank you, Ikawa-san. Regarding the second subject, the sustainability, in general terms, are cement companies receiving subsidies or incentives by the government to improve the utilization of waste? Are you receiving subsidies or incentives by the government to doing this?
Yes, actually, we have some subsidies from the local government, and also that, for example, that we actually operate another cement plant in Subaba area in Tokyo, or we call that eco cement. But it's a very small manufacturing plant, but we incorporate that some of the waste materials and to manufacture that this eco cement. But we actually get some subsidy from the local government.
Very good. I read you the question of an attendant, Ikawa-san. Who is responsible for segregation of waste between the local bodies, the urban local bodies, and the cement company? Who is bearing the cost of waste pre-processing before you use it in the cement production?
Actually, I think that in Japan, we have very much systematically organized this kind of segregation of the waste. Actually, that we just put that Monday is just going to be some of the general rubbish, and Monday, local government collects that, for example, the aluminum can and steel or something like this way. So we just systematically segregate that our municipal waste and to deliver to the our cement plant.
Okay.
That makes sense? Sorry.
Well, somehow, yes. Okay. There's a minimum standard for CO2. There is your co-panelist who is asking, what is the minimum standard for CO2 emission in Japan per ton of cement production?
I'm not sure exactly, but generally we have now 675 net CO2 emissions in our company.
Okay.
CO2 ton per cement. Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Pak Widodo?
Sorry.
Yeah, but Vince, usually in industrial emission of CO2 is very high. In Indonesia, 1 ton cement emission CO2 around 650, not 75. Impossible, because CO2 produced by calciner to burn the batu kapur, yeah, I mean calcium. Calcium, yeah. The composition is 65% is from the process calcining, and 35% by coal, coal firing. So in Indonesia, average around 660 kilogram CO2 emission per ton cement. So very difficult to decrease less than 600. This information. So the question in my question, how many in Japan? What number per ton cement? How many emission CO2 come to the chimney of the factory? I mean, this just for reference compared with in Indonesia, Pak Vincent. Thank you.
Okay.
675 kilogram in Japan, right?
Now our emissions is 675.
Oh,
But,
yeah, okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
just around 50% from raw materials and 45 coming from energy, like coal.
Yes, that's right. Oh, the question is the regulation. Regulation, Pak Vince. Regulation in Japan. Regulation in Indonesia, minimum the plan should be 700. It's less should be good. More should be some final like this.
So at the moment, we don't have any regulation regarding that limitation of that emissions.
Okay. Egawa-san, another question from the audience.
Yes.
If you are utilizing waste now with okay, you are using waste.
Yes.
And you can use the waste either for fuel or material. Is there some kind of a percentage you can give us? How much would go into fuel and how much will go into raw material?
Yes, it's mostly, I think that depending on the plant side for the manufacturing. And, so if we can produce for example, that as I introduced this Saitama plant for that accepting municipal waste. This plant is 1.4 million tons of clinker production. And in that case, I think 25,000 or something or 15,000. So just around 2%. Sorry. So 1.2 million tons clinker production, and we can treat that waste 30,000, just on a 2.5% or something like this for the waste.
Okay.
For the I'm not sure exactly for that this how much content or how much proportion to be used in the substitute for the alternative fuel. So I will reply later.
No, it's okay. Egawa-san, are you familiar with technology which can be used to use demolished concrete as raw material? Are you familiar with a certain technology which can be used for demolished concrete to be used as raw material?
So I think that we segregate. But now we are just making a plan to research for the utilization of this demolished concrete for the. For example, that we segregate the cement paste and to extract the calcium, and then to going to be a cement production again. And then for the aggregates, we have to use as recycled aggregates. That's only both of the way to be researched now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Gawa-san, I think we are coming to the end of our today's session.
Okay.
So I thank you very much for your presentation, as well to Mr. Raju, and of course to my friend Widodo. And thank you very much again. And I will pass over to Thomas in London.
So thank you very much to all our speakers for a fantastic session. We've really covered a lot of ground, from India to Indonesia and Japan, three huge economies, important industries, and we're delighted to have been able to share that with the 700 viewers that we've had online today. So thank you to each of our speakers for participating. That's it for today. For now, we'll be coming back in about an hour's time, in 50 minutes time for our next session. And we'll be looking really at the markets, global markets, and then we'll be looking specifically at the Asian and ASEAN markets, looking at the market trends, what the recovery and post-pandemic recovery will look like. We'll also have a fascinating presentation from cemtech. Dr. Carstensen is a very well-known around Asia, and he'll be presenting some case studies on co-processing and ways in which the industry can support the reduction of ocean plastic pollution. It's a really important presentation. It will also be a really fascinating one. If you've got time, please just log in about 50 minutes time for session 2. That's all that we've got time for now. Thanks again for participating. Look at your inbox and we'll keep you up to date with the next sessions and who's speaking when. It's been a great hour and a half. Thanks to Randolph Wittgens for co-chairing this session. And that's it from us for today. So thanks again to all our speakers.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Record